Hi, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Safari, and this is Safari's Journey. I want to thank you all for liking, watching, subscribing. Um, I really appreciate it. So, on today, we're going to get into friendships again, and we're going to talk about what recently happened to me a few days ago. Um, Actually, Monday, the first day of the week. Was it Monday? Yeah, Monday. So literally, today is Wednesday. I'm recording on Wednesday. And so it happened on Monday. Today is March 11th, 2026. So this happened a few days ago. Um, so in a previous video, I spoke on friendships and how my friendship dynamics is changing. Um, I'm just at a different place in my life. Like, the friendship dynamics are changing in terms of like I'm like no longer friends with certain individuals that were very close to me. Um, but this one particular person I spoke about in the other video, this one particular friend, this is a childhood friend to me. Um, we've been knowing each other since we were young. You know, they are actually younger than me. So I look at them like a little sibling. I actually call that person my daughter. You know, the particular person I'm speaking of, I would say they're trans. However, they're not in a space where they can really present in a feminine way. They're suffering with addiction right now. And I had told you guys that I allowed that person to come um, to my house and move in with me so I can help them get resources here in Georgia because the resources are better here than it is in Louisiana. So I had the person come and I tried to help them out, but I quickly realized that they were deep in their addiction. They stayed with me before when I was in Louisiana and I kind of helped them out a bit. And they did pretty good when they was in New Orleans. They was a little more stable but when they got here to Georgia, the original plan was for uh, her to go to New York. I have a friend in New York who have resources and know people. So I originally um, paid for a train ticket for her to come here. And the plan was for her to go to New York. We were supposed to go to New York because the friend that lives in New York was here in Atlanta and needed to move some things to New York. So I agreed to help her move her things. I said, as long as you help out my daughter, my little friend, my friend. Um, so that was the plan. But when she got here, she went ghost for 3 days. I had went to New York and came back. Her mother and sister called me because she was, out stranded at a hotel in the parking lot outside. Anyway, long story short, I went and get her. I was like, well, now I'm seeing that you're deep into your addiction. I didn't know it was that bad. She stayed with me for a few months, but it really didn't go anywhere because I have to work my 9 to 5 and I have to be on her. I have to be on her heavy, like a child almost. She wasn't making appointments. She was missing phone calls for shelters and stuff like that. I'm trying to help her get disability, get her mental health in check. Rehab. We spoke about rehab, but she said she wasn't ready for rehab. So when we had the discussion, I knew it was time for me to ship you back to Louisiana. So this is the particular friend I'm talking about today. And what happened was, on Monday, about 9 o'clock in the morning, I get a knock, knock, knock on my door. Now, I'm not expecting guests. On top of that, I'm not a morning person. You know, I'm not dealing with any men right now. So I looked on my ring camera and it was a police officer. It was two of them. So I really didn't think nothing of it. I thought somebody was trying to um, serve me some civil papers. We'll get into that. But anyway, some silver papers for a civil suit for a loan. I thought they was knocking on my door to try to serve me. But when I said hello, they was like, "Hi, Miss Such and Such." I said, "Yes." Well, you're not in trouble. We just want to talk to you about somebody who possibly lived at your residence. So I was like, the only person they could have been talking about is my friend. Because, you know, at the time, certain mail was coming here for them. I was trying to get them a Georgia ID and stuff like that. So I knew they had to be talking about her because nobody else, right? Um, so I goes outside and y'all, they tell me, "Hi, I'm such and such with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation with the child." I'm not. I don't know if I'm getting the name right, but anyway, is it Child Protective and something internet crimes? Basically, they told me, they said this particular friend name. Did this person stay with you? Because we are looking for that person. And now I don't remember the full details because when they told me this, I was flabbergasted for one. I'm trying to process this. There was a lot to process for two. They said that she downloaded or had two counts of images of either underage children, basically child. Oh, I don't know if I can say that on here, on YouTube. We're gonna omit that, but child, underage content was downloaded from my Wi-Fi. Um, was downloaded from my Wi-Fi, pinpointed to this location. Of course, they have my location. So I'm like, what? So they was like, yes, we're looking for that person. Make sure you change your password. If don't allow that person to come back here because if they do, they liable to be arrested. They may have a warrant out for their arrest. They asked me if I had any questions. And when I tell y'all, it was two that I seen on camera. And then when I walked out my apartment, it was three standing like in the cul-de-sac, like by the stairway. Okay, and when these people was talking to me, they were saying something about a search warrant. So I actually thought they was about to come in my apartment and like I guess start searching to see if they find anything. Um, but they didn't. So y'all, they gave me the information. They said call me if I hear anything. They asked me when the last time I had been in contact with her. I was like, well, and I was, this person is not fully in transition. They're more like, they're addicted. So their appearance and all that is not really female. They don't have their name legally changed or none of that. So they was like, oh, when was the last time you was in contact with him? And da 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 da. And I said, well, this person is unhoused. They're back in Louisiana. And I said, I keep in contact with them through Messenger, which I do because they don't keep a phone. They always losing their phone. When they was here, I bought like 3 phones. Anyway, y'all, that was a little traumatic for me. And I'm at a place where I don't really have anybody to call, and like who you call and tell it to. So anyway, I had called my nanny and I told her that because she know her. And I was like, girl, guess who just left my house? The damn feds. And the department was for child. This is serious. This is something serious. On top of that, this is my house. This is my home. This is my peace. This is my sanctuary. That's why you can't allow people to move into your space for stuff like this. Now I really don't feel comfortable at my house because these people had to been because she hadn't been to my house maybe 8 months. So these people that looked up all my search history they done looked all my search history, probably done did I know they did their background on me. It's the feds. They know everything about you, so I know they done looked me up. They probably had been investigating, seeing if they'll see something else on Wi-Fi or what. And of course, no content will be like that with me. And yeah, they was like, make sure you change your password. We just wanted to update you and give you a heads up. So I'm saying to myself, well, thank God I'm a law abiding girl. I'm glad that I'm not no longer a working girl because baby, them people would have known I was doing sex work, having clients, all kind of stuff, because I know they done probably been looking at my internet activities for months. For them to come here to my house and look for her, and this is the feds, like this ain't nothing to play with. I just feel violated. Like I really feel violated. Like I'm still processing this. It's a lot to take in, especially when they're talking about child crime or not. I'm not sure if I can say it, but y'all know what I'm saying. Dealing with children, I'm like, wait, hold on. I was like, I hope Miss Thing didn't intentionally do anything because I know her. I know she do survivor sex work. I know she be like getting images of girls putting ads up of people that's not her. Probably sending these men videos and stuff like that. So, y'all, I wrote her. I was like, "This what I get for trying to help a friend out." Excuse me. This what I get for trying to help a friend out. You have the feds knocking at my door, looking for you, saying that you downloaded or had images or what. They said twice, shared from my location. They know it's you because they said your name, the email address, or whatever that you use. And, they're not going to come to your house unless they have hard evidence. And obviously they did. And it came here and asked me about her whereabouts. So I wrote her and I told her that. And I said, I don't want no parts of that. I feel violated. How could you? And she was like, what the F? I'm lost. I said, well, that's for you to figure out. I don't want any parts. And I pondered on should I have blocked her? And I did. I did eventually block her because I was like, God is sending me a sign to like let certain people go. And I tried to help you out. You're not in a space where you want to be held. And hopefully you get to that place. In terms of the child underage stuff, that's for you and the feds to figure out. I don't want any parts of that. I don't want to be associated with that. On top of that, you know how the people are, putting us, saying we're perverted, all kind of stuff. So I don't want no parts of that, especially not in the climate we're living in now, because you definitely gonna be the poster child. They're gonna be ready to put that out there. On top of that, like I said, this person is not deep in transition. They still like cross-dressing, still grow a lot of facial hair. So, the image of a man in a wig I could just see it. I don't want any parts of that. I said, God bless you. I told her I love her, you know, um, and yeah, I blocked and deleted. So that's what happened to me with that one particular friend. Now, the other friend who I got into with it heavy, We share a cousin. She had my cousin call me because she texted me the other day, basically saying, um, well, she asked for the person that I go get my laser hair removal from. She asked for his information because she said she forgot it. And then she told me she's graduating college. And she said, I know we promised that no matter what we go through, um, no matter what we go through, we'll always be there for each other. And I'm saying to myself, well, baby, the last time me and you got into a physical altercation, you threatened to unalive me. And this is history. This is history. We've been knowing each other since we was like 14 years old. We 33 now. So that tells you, that's 2 decades, almost 20 years. We've been through a lot with each other. I'm always have love for her. It's kind of hard. That was always the friend that like I always ran back to, no matter if we got into it and all that. I truly see her as a sister. However, I can no longer deal with that toxic relationship. Like it's done, it's dead. Um, yeah, that's a done deal. So I sent her the information of the laser hair removal guy, and I said, congratulations on all your future endeavors. Um, so I guess she didn't like that. She didn't respond back, which is fine because we spoke a few weeks. You know, I said my piece. I told her I wish her all the best. She reached out to me again for that. I texted her and I was like, no, like I'm not going back and forth. Like that's a done deal. I must move forward. God have sent so many signs saying that that relationship no longer served me. It's too toxic. We didn't got into it too much times. And the last time it just really went to the deep end. It could have went worse than what it did, but I'm more of a logical thinker and I try not to move on emotions so much. Um, so I didn't allow myself to take it there. I allowed her to think she's winning and for her to go about her business. And that she did. And I blocked her. I blocked her. Yeah, I blocked her. I already had blocked her on social media, but I blocked her number too. You told our cousin. Our cousin called me saying she just wanted to hear from me. She's like, such and such told me this, and I said, yeah, girl, you already know our relationship. Like, she said she felt a way. She felt it was fake of you to do such and such. I was like, well, I'm sorry after you threaten to unalive a person, like it's no coming back from that. Like that's a done deal. And I wish you all the best, my love, but I must move forward. So she was blocked. Um, and this other friend who me and her had became real close when we moved here to Georgia, I just come to realize I felt like when I needed time to myself, you wasn't feeling that. And when I reached back out, it's like you didn't want to communicate. So I blocked her as well. She probably wasn't going to reach out anyway, but I just blocked her too. So I'm just coming to realization that I must move forward with my life. Like old friendships are no longer. And, I just feel like God is sending me signs. People that no longer serve me, people that I need to leave in the past. I must do that in this season in my life. And I must sit alone and be alone, you know. Um, and I'm just honoring that. I'm honoring that. Is it hard? Yes, it is. It is hard. I still have some emotional attachment to those people. Even the friend like that I see as a daughter, like a little sister to me, I feel sorry for her. But baby, if you have anything to do with underage children, I don't want no parts of that. Like No, ma'am. That's why I draw the line. Like, I wish you all the best. I know you're in addiction and all kind of stuff. So hopefully you get some help and the help that you need. The other two that done fell off. So here I am. On this channel, I said I wanted to be real and raw. So I'm just expressing myself. I'm letting it out. Um, Yeah, that was some a little traumatic for me for the feds to come knocking at my door. And now I know that I've been under surveillance. You know, my apartment is on some type of watch list because somebody was living here, downloading child whatever. Hell no. So, y'all, that's where I'm at. I said I would be real and raw, and that's what I'm giving y'all. I'm giving y'all the real, I'm giving y'all the raw in real time. Today, I went to a consultation for a therapy session. So I'm going to get into therapy, and I think it's needed in this season in my life, um, especially with all these friendship dynamics changing. And I'm pretty much alone right here. I do have my mother, I have my siblings, um, but it's a different relationship with your siblings compared to your girlfriends. We could just relate on certain things and get to know each other. I mean, relate on things differently. So, thank you all for tuning in. I mean, what would y'all do in a situation like that? Y'all think I did the right thing? Um, yeah, let me hear your thoughts. Until next time, like, subscribe.